Hey guys, it's me, and this is the Poly Burlap Christmas tree tutorial. I am at a loss for words all of a sudden. I don't know why that happens. That never happens to me. Okay, typically this tree takes a 28-inch tree form from Craft Outlet, but they were impossible to find. So this is an alternative that you can use. Hobby Lobby does have these. This is a Wreath easel. I already put my plastic canvas on there though, so it looks a little bit different right now, but this is actually a Wreath easel that you can stand up, and it's got a little hook on it. Actually, the hook is over here. Put the hook in the back. That's a little hook that you can stand up and hang your wreath on. This is a 24-inch wreath easel from Hobby Lobby because I was told that if I got the 30-inch, they come in, I think, 24, 30-inch, 36-inch. If I got the 30-inch, I would have needed more poly burlap. I mean, it would have been about 6 inches taller, but the 24-inch, which is what this is, should be good. Once we add all of our poly burlap to it, it's going to look a lot bigger. So what I have done is I took the plastic canvas, and I bought some extra ones too so you can see what they look like. This is a piece of plastic canvas that you can get from Hobby Lobby. I think you could probably get them from any craft store. They're in the sewing department. And I bought the biggest kind. This is actually a 13, can't even see, I think it's 13.5 by 22.5. I don't know the exact measurements. I can't see with my glasses on. Even with my glasses on, I can't see. This is the biggest one that they have. And this is the one that you're going to want to buy because it'll fit your tree form. Okay, and all I did not, you can outline it if you want with a marker. I couldn't find my marker. I couldn't find my Sharpie. All I had was the dry erase marker, and that wasn't going to work. So you can actually outline it first before you cut your shape. That's probably recommended, but I kind of just eyeballed it, so you don't really need to worry about it being a perfect fit. Like you can see, I have a little tiny gap right here. That's not a big deal. As long as you've got some holes close to the edge to stick your pipe cleaner through to attach your poly burlap, you're going to be fine. And I just attached, I actually attached a zip tie right here to this piece because this piece, when you get the wreath easel, it's meant to pull out so you can stand your wreath easel up. So all I did was I put a little zip tie here just to hold it in place to the bar so it doesn't move around. And I put a zip tie up here. I just kind of put, a few all the way down. I put some around this bar here, and then some down here, and one in the middle here. So one up here, I think I showed you that one already, just to make sure that it's secure. I could have even put one here too, but I don't really think I'm gonna need to do that. It's pretty secure. So, and then I snipped all the ends off. So that's that portion of it. So let me show you now how you're going to fold your burlap. Oops. Now, one thing I want to mention is it's very, very important that when you're cutting your burlap, your poly burlap or mesh, you can use mesh for this too, make absolutely sure, like I had to go back and cut a few of these pieces over again because if they're not exactly 10 by 10 inches, the folds are not going to look right. There's a very specific way that you fold these to make your branch or your leaves or whatever you want to call them. So you have to really make sure it's exactly 10 by 10 inches, which this is. I actually folded a bunch of these already into the shape I needed them to be in, and they weren't folding right. And I went back, and it's because I realized I was in a hurry when I was cutting, and some of the pieces were 10 by 11, some were 10 by 12, so I had to cut that extra piece off because it just wasn't folding right. So very important, make sure that your poly burlap or your mesh, if you're using mesh, is exactly a 10 by 10 inch square. Now, this is poly burlap from Craft Outlet, and I used the wood burning tool to cut this. Now, I would highly recommend you use the wood burning tool. I would not use a rotary cutter, and the reason for that is because, I'm getting blurry here. It wouldn't be a video if I didn't get blurry once or twice, huh? The reason I wouldn't use a rotary cutter is because it's going to be hard for you to stay within the lines, and that's what's important when you're cutting this, to reduce your fraying. You've got lines. Oh my goodness, why is this going blurry? I apologize. You've got lines that run with mesh. You've got lines that run up and down the poly burlap as well. So when I was using my wood burning tool, I made sure that I stayed in between those lines, okay? And what the wood burning tool does is it seals the edges, okay? It seals them just like with mesh, and it burns them. So you're going to have, you'll still have some fraying, but not as much. Now this, I really like this poly burlap. I think I'm going to use this a lot more. If you don't have a wood burning tool, I would just use scissors. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but try to just cut between those lines and stay between those lines, and you will greatly reduce your fraying. This is the wood burning tool. You can get them at Walmart. It's basically just a soldering iron is really all it is. And there's a pointy tip on there, and it gets very, very hot, so be careful. I think the one they have at Walmart is a Plaid 2-in-1. I actually got this one from my sister. My sister actually bought a wood burning kit, and she was going to do all this wood burning and decided not to, so she gave me the burner. So I inherited that from her. But let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you, I did already make a bunch of these already, because you're going to make a bunch. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all together. This is what your petals or your branches are going to look like that you're going to attach to your tree form or your wreath easel. So I even have one little piece here that's coming off. So I'm just going to pull that off right now. I think maybe I didn't get between the lines on that one, so that's probably why that piece is coming off. But for the most part, when you use the wood burning tool, you're not going to have to worry about fraying. So I'm going to show you a couple times how to do this. So it might be hard to, to understand at first, but what you're going to do is you're going to take your 10 by 10 inch piece of poly burlap, okay? Flip it over so it's kind of curled up. You're going to take one corner and bring it to the other corner, okay? And you're going to have a triangle, all right? And you're going to take this corner and bring it down to meet the point in the middle, okay? Now, you're going to hold it and flip it over. So here's your folded part up here that you just folded over. You're going to take this end, you're going to bring it up like that, okay? So you have this piece is on top of that piece that you just folded, okay? Take this side and fold it down to meet the other two folds. And what I mean by that is, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay? And I'm going to show you again, but that's important. And make sure that these pieces, you want them to sort of be all about the same length. You see how they're all about the same length? I got to have a little piece here I have to cut off. Hold on. Just a little fray. It's important that you want them, if you have to adjust it a little bit with your hands, this part up here isn't really going to matter. What's going to be visible on your form are these pieces down here. So you kind of want them to be like lined up. So that's how it's going to look. Okay, and I'm going to show you again. For the time being, because we're going to zip tie, or we're going to pipe clean, put a pipe cleaner around two of these. So lay this down with something for a minute, because we're going to do another one. Okay. So here's your 10 by 10 inch piece. All right. Fold it down into a triangle. Try to get the edges to line up. Okay, now again, if your pieces aren't exactly 10 by 10 inches, you're going to notice it's not going to be a perfect triangle when you fold it. Okay, take one corner, bring it down to the middle. That's how that looks. Okay, flip it over. So there's your folded piece. You can kind of see where the line is right there, where you folded it. You see your fold? See that? Your goal is to take this piece and fold it so it lines up with that piece that you just folded. So just like that. So now you have two of these together. Okay. Now your next goal is to take this piece and get this fold here. This side here is going to line up with these two, so you have three. Okay. So take it and just fold it over and line it up with what you've already folded. So that's where you have your three. And you can see how it's a little bit uneven. I don't want that. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pull it up at the top a little bit. So they're all about the same width on the bottom. Okay? And we're going to do it again. Don't worry. So you have another one here. So take the one that you already made and put them together. You've got two of these together. And again, make sure that they're lined up so they're all about the same length on the bottom. And you can pull it up a little bit at the top if you need to. And here's all your folds. Now, you're going to kind of pinch it like an inch from the top. Okay. Take a half a pipe cleaner and wrap it around. And kind of pull at it. And you can squeeze it a little bit like that. Pinch it together and then twist your pipe cleaner on. You don't need a full pipe cleaner. You have enough room there. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. It's like your little leaves. Aren't those cute? And that's it. You're just going to make a whole bunch of those. Throw that over there. And this is all I have left of the ones that I haven't made yet, but I wanted to be able to show you in class. I did all the rest of my rolls already. I used 3 rolls. So let's do it again. Fold your 10 by 10 inch piece in half. Try to get it to line up. So there's that. Okay. Take your corner, bring it down. Your first fold, fold it, and flip it over. You can see your line right here, right through it, where you just folded it. See that? That's where you just folded it. You're going to take and you're going to fold it so these two folds line up. Okay? And then your goal again is to make sure that this piece lines up with these two. So by doing that, you're just going to fold it over again. So you have all 3 of your folds together. And again, you can adjust it so they're all about the same length. It doesn't really matter what it looks like up here. That part's going to be hidden, and I'll show you what I mean. You want to make sure that they all look nice and pretty down here because that's the part that's going to be showing and it's going to make your tree. It's coming off here. Okay. That's that. I'm just going to hold it. Don't worry about what it looks like in the back. If these pieces don't look like they're lined up, don't worry about it. Your goal isn't to make sure this all lines up. You want this to line up in the front, okay, and look nice and pretty and neat. So lay that down, and we'll do another one. See, this one might not be exactly 10 by 10 inches, so it's going to give me a hard time, but fold it into the middle, flip it over, fold it again, so your 2 edges are lined up, and then fold it again, so all 3 are lined up. And again, it's uneven, so just pull it up a little bit on the end, just to make sure that all your Your ends are lined up and about the same length. Okay, take your two, put them together. There's your cute little branch, whatever you want to call it, leaves. They're not really leaves. Take your half a pipe cleaner, go like an inch from the top. Kind of squish it in together, pinch it in, and twist really tight. And that's what it's going to look like. There's your little branch for your tree. Put that over there with the rest. And we'll just keep going. As you keep folding these, it's going to get easier. Trust me. When you first start to do it, you'll be like, what the heck am I doing? See, I thought I went through all these and recut them, but I think some of them may be a little bit off still, but that's okay. How quickly it goes once you get the hang of it. You make like 55,000 of these. Well, you're not going to make 55,000, but it sure feels like it sometimes. Just make sure they're all lined up. That's the important part, is the front. Don't worry about what it looks like in the back. That doesn't matter. The back's not going to be showing. The front part is the important part. That's the part that you want to look pretty. Make sure they're all lined up. Pretty, pretty. And then you put your pipe cleaner on. About an inch from the top. Give or take. Pull it and twist. But I'm going to stop this for just a minute. Actually, I think I'm going to do one more for you. I'll go slower, and then I'm going to stop it and do the rest of my petals, and then I'll come back and we'll start attaching it to our tree. So one more time, really slow. Take your corner, fold it over to make your triangle. Okay. Fold it over again, down to the middle. Flip it, hold on to that fold. There's the line that you want to fold it to, just like that, and then back over again. So you have your three pieces, and then just make sure that they're lined up. Nice and even on the bottom, more or less. You don't want one a lot longer than the other one. You want them to be relatively the same length. One more time. Fold it over to make your triangle. Fold it over again. Flip. There's your line that you just folded. Flip it over again to meet that line, and then over again to get your three. And there's your three. That one always seems to end up longer, so we'll just pull him up a little bit on the top. Make sure they're all about the same length on the bottom. Grab your other one, line them up. Pipe cleaner an inch from the top. You're going to have to kind of squeeze that in. You want that to really be tight. There's your cute little, so cute. I'm going to stop this for a couple minutes and finish making these. I will be right back, and then we'll start attaching it to our tree. Be right back.